All right. All right.
I
So
don't know if you could hear me, but thank you
yeah,
for
I can hear you.
on. So always, if there's anything that can help eliminate the credit history. But the first thing I was gonna say is it's important to know what your credit score is. So um, whether you talk to a loan officer to have them run your credit, always getting your credit checked is very uh, if anything, it's informative. But, but you could go to any of the major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. One time a year, you could actually have them send you a copy of your credit report.
Okay.
So you
And
do
that's
get
free?
a free, yeah, it's free. You could do that. You just have to do the effort to go out there and look for it.
Can you do it
But
online?
yeah, you could do it online. Every bureau has their own way of going at, they have their own number, so you could contact them. But um, you could do this once a year. You could go to freecreditreport.com if you wanted to. Now,
Okay.
you're not going to get the most accurate of credit scores if you go to the free credit report sources, um, mainly because just a different algorithm. But you could look up, what will be accurate is how the credit agencies are looking at your credit report, which
Okay.
is super important. So if they're seeing your credit, your positive, you'll know right away that that's positive towards your overall credit score. But that is something that's available.
Uh,
The second thing that first time home buyers or repeat home buyers could do is just make sure you pay your bills on time. Um, Significantly, a big part of your FICO score is making sure that you're making, you're paying your bills on time.
okay.
You
That
can
seems
do,
fairly
yeah,
straightforward.
I know, but that is a big challenge for
It's
some.
part of the magic, huh?
Yeah, it's part of the magic. Automatic setting up your auto pay is something that I personally do. Um, my FICO score is in the 800s, so
Mhm.
I could tell you over time, um, making sure that that auto payment, at least the very minimum, is taken care of, because a lot of times we have busy lives and we taking care of kids, taking care of family members. Sometimes, we're working on, 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like it just gets really complicated. So sometimes setting up that automatic minimum payment helps. So you never have a missed payment. And that's the key.
Okay.
You never want to have a missed payment with any type of credit that you have. So So the other thing is to keep your credit card balances low. I would say that would be one of the major contributors to low FICO scores. Like, oh, I made my payment on time every month. Well, the reality is that's great that you make your payment on time every month, but I would say about 30% of a FICO score is how much of a balance you have versus the credit line that you have. So I'll give
Okay.
you an example. If you go out there and you go to Macy's and you get their 10% discount off on your new credit card, if you have a $300 limit and you get a $300 maxed out, clothes buying spree,
Yeah.
well, your FICO score is going to take a big hit for that. But let's say if you keep a balance, now if you pay it off, if you go and you pay off the $300 and it shows that it's a $300 with a zero balance, that would help someone's FICO score.
Okay.
But if you leave a $300 balance on it, even if you have a $200 balance on it, that's not going to help your FICO score. It's going to actually it's going to show as a high
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 balance.
credit line, high balance credit card, almost maxed out credit card. That's going to really affect your FICO score in a negative.
Okay.
So number also, let's say you have some old accounts, like you have an old Visa card from 1999.
Okay.
Keep it. Those are the accounts that really push that FICO score up. You want to keep the old accounts. You don't, if you have an old credit card that you've have like 3 grand balance, but you have a $12,000 credit line, you want to keep those, right? You want to
Okay.
keep
So you're
those.
saying don't pay those off.
No, you could always, if you could always pay them off, you can make sure you pay everything off as much as you can,
Just don't
but
close it.
just don't close them.
Okay.
So just keep them open. Those are the accounts that are, I almost call them credit boosters, right?
Okay.
They help, it shows credit history and you have an old account. It's just something profound about those accounts. You
Okay.
want to keep them. Something that I wasn't, that's not originally in my list, but I'm going to add it real quick is if you have someone that you're close to, that you have a good rapport with, and let's say they have that old account from like 1999 with really great account history,
Uh-huh.
have them add you as a authorized user.
Oh, okay.
Those will be huge credit boosters, huge
Okay.
credit boosters. Um, I would say that if I would say another thing, you want to have a good mix of credit, right? You have a credit card, maybe you have an installment. Let's say you went to Macy's and you got a couple of furniture pieces. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with doing that on credit if you're getting like that 0% interest rate, but make sure that you pay that on time. If you have a car note, a good mix of different types of credit is good.
Okay.
So I'm not saying go and get all tons of credit debt, but if you have the means to, let's say, go buy a car.
Oh, I lost you again.
Yo, I see you moving now. So where you could stop it and then start it,
Yeah.
right? So where did so I think I was talking about the mixture of credit. Like you
Yeah.
could
If you
have,
have the means to buy a car.
yeah, go buy a car. I'm not saying go not go buy a car. That's good. Go buy a car. If you need the transportation, do it. But you got the person who's buying a house needs to understand that debt to income could prevent them from buying a house if if buying a car is going to you know press them for money.
So define debt to income for people
Debt
that
to
don't
income,
understand that.
yeah. So debt to income is going to be the amount of money you make. So, right, let's say you make $100 a month.
Okay.
Right? Banks are going to look at 45% of your income, right?
Mhm.
To versus um to make sure that you could afford the house. So if you are making $100 a month, right, your mortgage payment can't be more than $45.
Okay.
So I'm making it very simple there. But if you're buying a $500,000 house, right, and your mortgage payments are $4,500, that means you need to make about $10,000.
Okay.
So that's what debt to income is. So if you then stick in your must brand new had to have 2023 Mustang, that you need that 4,500, but now you have a $1,200 payment on top of that $4,500. Well, that might prevent you from buying a house. So it's very important to know what your housing and your expenses are when you're looking to buy, car. That's
Okay.
if you're looking to buy a house.
All
Now, if
right.
you don't care about buying a house, then
Well, but I think that would be important, if you have to have any kind of shelter, whether it's buying or renting, they're going to look at your debt to income ratio, because renters are not easy pickings anymore like they were 20 years ago. They're pretty
Mhm.
strict now.
Absolutely.
And my understanding is that a lot of that is because large Wall Street backed conglomerates are these big digital landlords. Um, and they have a strict set of guidelines for people they rent to, because they don't want to deal with evictions, especially in California, where evicting somebody is not an easy thing to do.
Correct.
So I would think that keeping your debt to income ratio squared away all the time is probably a good idea.
Correct.
All right. So
You're not
what's next
wrong.
on the list, bud?
Um, I would say that just be patient. Building your credit is sometimes it's not like overnight. Sometimes it takes time. Um,
Yeah, it does.
my being consistent, right? Making sure that you're making your payments, not only your payments on time every month,
Yeah.
but you're also trying to do your best to pay down debt. Um, if you're the type of person that likes to pay off their balances at the entire balance of the credit card every month,
Hmm.
that will help boost credit. And it looks really good with underwriters.
Okay.
Overall, if there's one thing I could tell anybody that buy, um, credit score is important, but debt to income is even more important.
Okay. If you had to break it into a percentage, what would you say each one of those is?
Um, I would say that credit, the credit's 30% important. Obviously, FICO scores have a big say on how expensive or inexpensive a loan could be,
Uh-huh.
but the debt to income could be the difference between actually qualifying and not qualifying to buy a house.
Okay. Well, that's good information, man. Is there anything else that you want to share?
No, I think we could make another discussion on debt to income.
Okay.
but
Yeah.
but credit is super important nonetheless. And it's it just comes down to making sure that you know you do the right thing, and every as a consumer, and every month you try to pay down as much of the debt you can.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Thanks for your time, G. I appreciate it.
All right, man. All right, Garza, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Have a good night, man.
All right, you too.
Bye bye.